So make sure you click on your fruit salad, and let's get the simple stuff out of the way first. So let's bring in our green flag. And the first thing you can do, as you can see, our fruit salad is very disproportionate to the size of our mouse and our cat. So let's go to looks, and let's go to set size to. Let's change it to 40%. I'm going to press my green flag. That's about right. Look at the size of it now, which is perfect. Okay. And what we want to do is tell it where to go. So if I just move my score just over here slightly, okay, you'll see Y up here, X is 0, that's the middle, and Y is 180, that's the top of the screen. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell my fruit salad where I want it to start. So I'm just going to say go to, and I want my X, so I want my fruit salad actually to start anywhere across this line. Okay, and I'm going to change Y to 160. So it's always going to be at that height. Okay, but I want it to start anywhere across the top here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to change that. If I just say, for instance, I put that to 0, my fruit salad is always going to start in the middle. But I want it to appear anywhere across this X line here. How do we do that? Well, we go to this green box operators, and you'll see 5 down, we've got this fantastic option here called pick random. And we can tell the computer that we want it to randomly appear anywhere on this line. So let's just test it out here. So I'll put it in here, and I'm going to put X is going to be, so let's start off this side here. So minus 200 is there. That'd be a nice number. So minus 200. And then if we go over to this part of the line here, that's 200 too. So minus 200 and 200. So it's going to be, basically, it's going to appear anywhere between this area and the X line. So if I'll keep pressing the green flag, you'll see my fruit salad appears anywhere on that X line. Isn't it fantastic? So no matter when the game starts, my fruit salad is going to keep starting randomly, which is what I want. So if I now bring in, well, how is it going to move? Well, it's going to forever move downwards. Okay, and we know when a character is moving downwards, it moves across this line here, the Y line. So let's bring in forever, and let's go to motion, and let's bring in change Y. If we wanted it to move left or right, we change X, but we want to change Y. Okay, so we're going to change Y by, well, if it's going to go down this line, our lines are going to get smaller. Okay, so we're going to go minus 2. Okay, so press the green flag, and you'll see every time I press the green flag, my fruit salad is falling down the Y line by minus 2 every time. So if I just avoid my cat for a second, you'll see my fruit salad gets to the bottom of the screen and stops. So we have a problem. So what do we need to do? So we're just going to say to the computer, if, so let's go to control, if you touch the edge what do we want it to do? Well, we need it to make it disappear. Now to make something disappear, you go to looks and hide. And where do you want it to reappear? Well, we want it to reappear back up here, anywhere across that X line and Y 160. So basically the same exact code as this line here. Okay, so I'm just going to go to motion, and I'm going to bring in go to and pick random, just like you did before, exactly the same as you did before. The same 2 numbers that you used before, minus 200 and 200. And Y is going to be exactly the same number, 160. So what we're saying is, keep changing Y by minus 2. And if you touch the edge, disappear, go back up here. And the problem is it's still going to be invisible. So you need to bring it back. So bring in show. And once it's done that, then it's going to go back to this bit here, change Y by minus 2. So let's just test it. Let me just avoid my cat for a second, and let's just see what happens to my fruit salad. There we go, and you can see it's just going to keep moving along, touching the edge of the screen, and it's going to happen again and again and again and again until I die, and hopefully I might get to eat it if I'm good enough. So I'm just going to minimize this just a little bit, so that code should be working perfectly for you. So in this section here, we set its size, we told it where to go randomly on the X line and Y, and all of the time my fruit salad is going to move downwards on that Y axis, and if it ever touches the edge, it's going to hide, it's going to reappear up here, and it's going to show. So let me just move that block of code over here to the side for a second, and I'm just going to zoom in here to give me some space, and I'm going to have to bring in another green flag here. And what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to program my mouse to be able to eat the fruit salad. So how is this going to work? So we're still inside the fruit salad here. Bring in a forever, and let's bring in an if, because this is only going to happen if my fruit salad touches the mouse. So if it touches mouse 1, what is it going to do? Well, I want to eat it. So when you eat something, it disappears, and we've already used the code for disappear already, which is hide. And what do you want to get after you've eaten it? Well, you want to get a score, don't you? So what toolbox do we go to? Data. So go to data for me, and we're going to change the score by 1. Okay. And when we've done that, then where is it going to go afterwards after you've eaten it? Because there's no point playing a game where you're just going to get 1 point. So we want it to reappear, and we're going to use exactly the same code that we did over here. Going to bring in go to. We need to tell it where to go after we've eaten it. Go to, remember we had pick random. So we go to operators and pick random. The same numbers as last time, minus 200 and 200. And Y is going to be exactly the same number, 160. And we're missing one very important piece of code now. So it's going to hide. We're going to get one more score, and we're going to bring in go to up here somewhere, and we have to bring it back. So bring in show. So let's test it. Let's just see. So press the green flag now, and it's going to be very difficult now to catch it. Will I catch it? I missed it. Okay, let me see if I can catch this one. There we go. Oh, I just missed that one. Let me see if I can catch this one. Brilliant. So I've got 2. Now I'm just going to drag out my cat here. Ah, I've got 4. Not too bad, but it's working perfectly, which is great. So there we have it. So that is our cat and mouse game, which is pretty cool. And we've covered loads of bases here. We've created a scoring system that goes upwards every time we create a sprite, and we're able to, when 2 sprites collide, make one disappear and reappear randomly somewhere else on the screen, which is really important, and it happens in so many of the games that we play. Now there's loads of extras you could go in and try out. Okay, perhaps you could bring in an extra bad sprite with very similar code to your cat. Okay, maybe you could bring in something special that could appear randomly on the screen that you could eat to give you more points. Okay, so there's loads of little extras that you can use in your imagination. You could go and create. But before you do anything like that, make sure you go to File and Save, and make sure you save your work to your computer. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that project. It's a really cool exercise, and it's amazing to see how much code now you're able to bring in there compared to the early projects that we've done. Okay, so well done. So remember, File and Save, and enjoy.